Zahikusa, the architect of worlds, once believed Infinity Nova to be his grandest and most enduring creation. Forged from the raw threads of conquest, ambition, and glory, it was a place where mortals and immortals alike tested their strength against endless challenges. But over time, the realm grew restless. The balance that Zahikusa had so carefully woven began to unravel. Endless wars scarred the land. Greed festered in every corner, and corruption seeped into the very fabric of its being. The world became louder, darker, more unstable, and with every passing age Zahikusa felt the weight of failure pressing down upon him. He watched from beyond the veil as the mighty armies of Infinity Nova turned on one another, kingdoms rising only to fall in a blink, and rivers of soulstone becoming tainted by reckless ambition. The harmony he and Ibexer once dreamed of had become an illusion, drowned beneath the cries of conquest. And so, with sorrow heavy in his immortal hand, Zahikusa made the most tragic of decisions. Infinity Nova must be undone. The destruction came swiftly. When Zahikusa shattered the world, it was as if the stars themselves tore apart. Mountains collapsed into dust, oceans roared and boiled into nothingness, and skies split open with rivers of fire. Every creature that had once thrived within those endless battlefields was unmade in an instant, their lives extinguished as if they had never been. Yet destruction never comes without consequence. From the broken skies of Infinity Nova, celestial fragments were scattered like sparks across the void, carried by Zahikusa's own hand into a realm he had just begun to form, a world soon to be called Evo. Yet not all perished in the annihilation. Among the countless lives lost, one being endured. Axos, whose fate had long been entwined with corruption, found a way to escape the collapse. With his violet staff of soulstone pulsing like a wound in the fabric of reality, he slipped through the chaos and crossed into the newborn skies of Evo. His survival was no accident. It was as if the corruption itself guided him through destruction's flames. Axos' presence stained Evo from the beginning. Even today, there remain fields in the world that no mortal, no spirit, no Naki, and no player may claim. These lands, cloaked in violet energy, belong to Axos alone. From them, he sends forth airships of his own dark design, vessels carved from fragments of Infinity Nova's ruin, bound by corrupted soulstone. They raid the home islands of players, spreading fear and destruction wherever they descend. To defeat these airships is no simple task, yet those who succeed claim artifacts of immeasurable power, relics torn from the ashes of Infinity Nova, now reshaped by Axos' madness. Thus, even in Evo's earliest days, the shadow of Infinity Nova lingered, carried by Axos' hand. Evo was unlike any of Zahikusa's previous creations. Where Infinity Nova had been a land of ceaseless battle, Evo was a realm of opportunity and choice. Its skies shimmered with a strange light, and within them floated countless islands, drifting like fragments of dreams above the void. Each island was touched by purpose. Some were safe havens, the home islands, where mortals and players could build their strength, cultivating armies and carving a place of refuge. Others were fleeting echoes, event islands that appeared like sparks in the void, offering treasure and soulstone for a time, only to vanish if left unclaimed. Here, life was not only about war but also about growth. Armies could be recruited from the fertile fields, and soulstone mined from veins deep within the land. With soulstone, fields themselves could be strengthened, becoming bastions of power for those who commanded them. But Evo was never a realm of ease. Event islands were fleeting, vanishing if mortals were too slow or careless. Those who lingered risked losing everything to time's hunger. For the most disciplined, however, Evo revealed its true rewards. At the end of each month, Zahikusa bestowed crystal fragments upon the worthy, fragments of pure celestial essence, capable of unlocking new fields or pushing existing ones beyond their natural limits. Only the most skilled and resourceful ever received these rare gifts. Alongside them, artifacts of great power lay hidden, each capable of altering the flow of battle or reshaping the destiny of those who wielded them. And scattered treasure fields added their own temptations, offering soulstone and troops every few hours to those who dared to claim them. Evo became a proving ground of patience, ambition, and cunning. Yet even here, the looming shadow of Axos could not be ignored. But Zahikusa's work was far from complete. Beyond Expelsia's corrupted skies and Evo's shimmering archipelago, another realm began to stir Dominion. Where Evo was a test of resourcefulness and endurance, Dominion was a crucible of survival, a realm built for trial by fire. Dominion took the form of vast rings of floating islands, orbiting a single, massive isle at their center. Mortals began on the outermost rim, 20 home islands circling the void. And as the trials began, the rings began to collapse, from 20 to 8 to 4, until only the great central island remained. Every step closer meant greater danger, greater conflict, and fewer survivors. The battles of Dominion were unlike those of Evo. Here, survival was the only law. Players took turns sieging the central island, their armies clashing in battles that unfolded in 2 stages. In the first, the attacker pressed forward, while the defender fought to hold their ground. In the second, the roles reversed, and only the one with the greater claim over the island's fields could emerge victorious. But if an attacker seized every field, victory came at once, swift, brutal, and absolute. The defeated were cast into the void, their islands crumbling behind them as the realm closed inward. One by one, the weak fell away, until only the strongest remained to claim the center. Dominion was not about patience. It was about resilience, cunning, and the will to outlast all others. Yet even Dominion was destined to evolve. As its seasons turned, Zahikusa unveiled a new layer of challenge, Dominion Legends. Now, before stepping into the crucible, mortals chose from 3 random echoes of ancient heroes. These legends, fragments of power drawn from ages long forgotten, bent the flow of Dominion's battles themselves. Some legends accelerated the recruitment of armies, making once impossible forces rise in days instead of weeks. Others amplified the strength of artifacts, turning relics into unstoppable weapons. Some bent the art of war itself, empowering attack, fortifying defense, or reshaping the balance between them. Each legend was both a gift and a gamble, able to decide the fate of entire campaigns before the first siege even began. In Dominion, legends became more than choices. They were destinies, whispers of forgotten gods woven into the survival of mortals. Yet neither Evo nor Dominion were free of corruption. The shadow of Axos loomed over them both. His corrupted field stood as scars within Evo, daring players to approach but never allowing conquest. His airships, carrying violet lightning and soulstone fire, descended upon home islands without warning, forcing mortals to rally their defenses again and again. And though his hand seemed distant in Dominion, whispers lingered that Axos watched the sieges, waiting for the moment to twist them toward his will. To mortals and players alike, these signs were a reminder that Zahikusa's worlds were fragile, always at risk of falling into ruin. For as long as Axos endured, corruption would spread, and the war could never truly end. And so the story of the realms deepened, from the corrupted skies of Expelsia, to the shifting islands of Evo, to the shrinking rings of Dominion. Each world carried scars of Zahikusa's decisions and Ibexer's gifts. But one truth echoed louder than all others. The war was not yet over. For as long as Axos remained, his violet shadow would stretch across creation, bending worlds toward corruption. And mortals, guided by Ramses' veil, would be called again and again to step into the struggle, to fight not only for victory, but for the very survival of Zahikusa's fragile worlds. The question that remains is not whether Axos can be defeated, but whether Zahikusa's creations can endure long enough to outlast his corruption, or whether all will fall, as Infinity Nova once did, into silence and ruin.